One of the themes that's emerging here is that when we solve for walkability, we solve many problems at the same time. The panel we're about to turn to here comes out of the roundtable conversations that took place at the Center for Total Health yesterday, where we had leaders from different sectors, and I'll let Deb describe them in just a minute, talk about why does walking matter to our sector. So Deb's going to describe this, but I want to introduce Deb because she's a particularly important leader in this movement and become an extraordinary friend over the last little bit of me personally and of our organization. Deb Hubsmith is the founder and director of the Safe Routes to School National Partnership, which, as you know, has just changed the way we're getting to school and growing in so many ways and so powerful in our country from very humble beginnings. And she has been serving over this last year as the co-chair of the Everybody Walk Collaborative. So here to introduce our panel, to take it to the next level, let's welcome one of this movement's greatest leaders, Deb Hubsmith.
These are the leaders associated with the business roundtables from yesterday. And first, I just want to say how inspired I am and excited I am to be here. And one of the themes that we've had this morning has been around inspiration. And when we feel inspired, it's almost like we have this superhuman power to be able to do things that we might not have done before. We have the ability to be able to dream big. And that's what we're doing here at this walking summit. And I'm so inspired by the leadership that Kaiser Permanente has put toward this, by Tyler Norris, by America Walks, Scott Bricker, which is serving as the backbone organization for the Everybody Walk Collaborative and the walking movement. From just a little less than a year ago, look where we are today, and think about where we're going to be going in the future. It is inspiring to me. Another thing I really want to talk about is empowerment, because if we're inspired, we can have a lot of great dreams, but we need to be empowered in order to take that step forward too. And so that's what we're aiming to do here over the next couple of days, is figure out really how can we empower people to be leaders? How can we empower people to be leaders in their sectors? Because when we do that, then we're really creating a movement. And that's what we're doing. We're doing nothing short of creating a walking revolution, a movement. So what we did yesterday, while there were great sessions going on over here as well, was we had 5 different organizations that were leaders in various sectors organize a group of about 15 people per sector to come together to talk about what does that sector need to do in order to move this walking movement forward, and how will they benefit, and what are the barriers, and what's next. And so the organizations that did this organization include Policy Link, that organized the Equity Roundtable, the Funders Network, yes, Policy Link, woohoo! The Funders Network for Smart Growth and Livable Communities organized a group of funders to be here. The National League of Cities organized the elected officials and appointed officials to be here. Kaiser Permanente organized business leaders. And Locust, which is part of Smart Growth America, organized developers to be here. And you're going to hear directly from our panel, but a couple of things that emerged were we need to keep our message simple. We need to speak with a united voice. We need to speak about values. We need to be bipartisan. So some of our values are active kids do better. Everybody wants to have a healthy lifestyle. Everybody wants to be safe. Those are things that everyone can agree with. We agreed that we need to create partnerships, and we're hoping that as each of you leave here tomorrow, that you'll have an organization that you're going to develop a new partnership with moving forward. We agreed that we need to have leaders, and we need to have champions, and we need to have that within every sector, within every neighborhood, within every school. As the Safe Routes to School National Partnerships Director, I'm so happy that there's 14,000 schools throughout the United States that are running Safe Routes to School programs like the one that Wendy Landman talked about in Boston. We are empowering leaders, and we need to do that all over the country. Capacity building. We need to not only work from the top down, we worked from the bottom up. And in fact, that's probably the most important thing. We need to ask people what they want. We need to build that capacity in our communities for people to be able to talk to their elected officials, because that's what gives the elected officials the backing in order to really take that step and move things forward. We need national leadership and collaboration that's informed by the bottom up. And there's lots of great resources to tap into. There's the Everybody Walk Collaborative. There's Design to Move. There's the Michelle Obama campaign, Let's Move. There's a new Fire Up Your Feet campaign that we've launched with National PTA and Kaiser Permanente. And there's also the Voices for Healthy Kids program, which recently was launched by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation and American Heart Association. These are all avenues to be able to tap in from the national level that are coming from the ground up. And then we need the best practices, and we need to shout those from the mountaintops to the media. Those stories that you're hearing, like Amy was talking about in New Orleans, the stories from all over the country, we need to tell those stories because that increases the demand. And to sum it up, I like to quote Gandhi, we need to be the change we wish to see in the world. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn to our panel, and they're going to let you know about some highlights that have come forward and what they believe needs to happen next.